Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. So today I'm going to take a look at a brand new little toy drone from DJI. It just came out. It is a D70. This is nothing fancy. There's no GPS, there's no optical flow. It does have altitude hold, which most drones do nowadays. It's just going to be a little fun flyer that you can put a little video or take some photos and fly it around and do some tricks and stuff in your front or backyard. You can see it's got, it says it's foldable, of course. It does 360 flips. It's got 3 speed rates, and it is Wi-Fi FPV. So let me grab the drone and show it to you. Very, very small, well under 250 grams. Of course, it is foldable, so just go ahead and fold out those arms. And there it is. Of course, in sort of the MAVIC Mini, or DJI Mini style drone. Let's get it up here. I want to get into the light so you don't get a bunch of shadows, but you can see that you have to manually tilt the camera the way you want. There's no micro SD card slot or anything like that on the drone, so you do have to record everything over the Wi-Fi FPV. It comes with 2 batteries. The other one I gotta grab, it's on my charger, but here is the spare battery here. They give you 2 of them. These are 800 milliamp 1S LiPos, and they have a little red JST plug, so if you have like a hobby grade charger like I do with the JST plug, you can use that instead of the provided one that they give you inside the pack here, a little red JST charger, and they give you 2 spare props on this guy. So you have your power button in the rear, you have a green light on the front, I think there's a red in the back, we'll see when we turn it on. You have a bright white light here on the front of the drone. Again, brush powered quad as you'd expect, because this is around 35 bucks. You use that 30% off clippable coupon on Amazon, and I think that ought to be that's a good price for this little drone, assuming that it functions and flies well. The app you use is the DEERC FPV app, so I'll put a screenshot up here of that, and that's from the Play Store and also on the iOS App Store for your Apple phone. So let me go ahead and get the battery in here, power it up, get it connected to the Wi-Fi on your phone, and then we'll get the app connected, and then we'll get up in the air and fly it, so I'll be right back. All right, before we get the drone up in the air, let's obviously go over the controls. I didn't do that a while ago, I should have, but they give you a little cheat sheet on here, which is nice. Of course, you got your pitch and roll over here, and your throttle on the left. If you press in on the right stick, you can go into 360 flip mode, so you press in, it'll probably beep, and then you'll give it direction which way you want it to flip. Down here on the bottom, you have your auto takeoff, but it doesn't really take off, it just starts up the props. You still have to go ahead and give it throttle, so they call it unlocking takeoff and landing, so it's not actually auto takeoff. This button here, quick press is going to do photo, long press will do video. You can also do that from the app itself, which that's what I'll do. On the top left bumper here, that's your speed switch. You have 3 rates. If you long press and hold it, then you can go into trimming mode. You can trim to adjust if the drone is floating one way or another. And then on your top right bumper, you've got your high speed rotation, which is just spinning on its yaw axis really, really fast. And then they have a thing called circle fly, which is another new sort of gimmick, I call it, they've brought out on a lot of these drones, where it will do like these big circles and it'll fly around. So we'll test out all those 3 features, those 2 and the 360 flips. So we're connected right now to the controller. We need to go ahead and connect to the Wi-Fi. So now I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. Let's go ahead and go to that DEERC FPV app. And once you get into the app, you're just going to press on the, you have to flip my phone around. It doesn't want to auto rotate. All right, now that we got it flipped around, sometimes sometimes these apps don't want to auto rotate. So we got it flipped around now. We'll go ahead and press start. And now we've got the feed showing up. So now we can go ahead and start recording. So I'm gonna press the record button, and now I got video recording. Of course, just recording over the Wi-Fi to your phone. And we'll go ahead and do an auto takeoff. Well, it's the auto prop start, and then you go ahead and give it throttle. There we go. Now this is the lowest rate. Now it's not much wind today, so I can handle that. You know, I can do it. Yaw is actually kind of quick for the lowest rate. Let's go ahead and take it up to the middle rate. Let's see if the yaw, let's go to the highest rate. Looks like the yaw does increase a little bit. Let's go back to the first rate, second, third. Well, I think it's about the same. Ideally, you want that yaw to increase with the rates. Now this records at 720p, and it says only 20 frames per second, so it's not a very, it's not going to be a very smooth video, but it's just, again, it's just a toy. The transmission range on this is like 98 feet on the Wi-Fi, and about maybe 120 on the control range, so you got to keep this close. This is not meant to fly very far away or go very high up in the sky. This could probably use a little bit of trimming. There we go in the highest rate. Now we got a lot more pitch. All right, let's go ahead and try doing some of those auto maneuvers. Boy, it is a lot more maneuverable, of course, in the highest rate, which is what you want. Let's bring it over here and let's try that. Let's try that circle fly. I think, or the auto yaw. Let's try that one. And there you can see it's spinning really quick. Just give it any input and it'll stop. Let's try the circle fly. That's going to be a long press on that. You can see it's more like doing. It's kind of like auto funnel. Let's just give it input there so we don't crash into the house. Let you guys see that again. It's just kind of doing these not very tight funnels, but about what you expect for a drone like this. And let's do some flips. If you're going to do 360 flips, you need to make sure that you do those early on while it's got sufficient battery power. So I'm going to press it on the right stick and just give it the direction I want to go. Let's go right. Let's go left. Let's go reverse. Whoa! Let's try reverse or backwards. There we go. Flip's really nice. For a drone this size, the smaller the drone, the better they're going to be at flipping. The bigger drones will get more and more clumsy at that unless you've got, like, you know, an actual FPV racing freestyle quad. So yeah, not a bad little drone. I think for $35, if you want to get your first little drone and learn how to fly and you don't have the budget for a GPS drone, or more importantly, if it's a gift for a teenager or 8, 9, 10-year-old that wants a drone really bad and you won't want to, you know, break the bank or don't want to worry about them busting it, and if they bust this, you realize you're not out a ton of money. I think this is a pretty good choice if you can get it for that $35. Roughly around $35. It's $50 with 30% off. So I think if I did the math right, that ought to be somewhere around $15 off. Plus tax, of course. There's a little, I mean, I know it's a little bit of control lag. Now, we're connected to the Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi operates on the same frequency spectrum or range at 2.4 as the controller. It's very minute, and if you're not someone who's flown hundreds of drones like me, you probably wouldn't even notice it. It's not going to really cause any problems. It's possible if I disconnected the Wi-Fi, I might not notice it, but it probably is just the drone itself. I mean, this is, again, a toy. It's not going to have the most precise controls. Just a little bit there. But I feel like the highest rate, you know, is a bit aggressive for someone new because of that, you know, just it's not really fast. The problem is even in the lowest rate, you've got that yaw that's really quick. So turning around, let's go to that lowest rate. I'm in the lowest rate now. Let's get it up to high rate to bring it over to me. There's a little bit of breeze it's got to fight. Brush motor quads like this can't fight the breeze nearly as well. So in the lowest rate there, I can still turn pretty quick, and that's going to cause some orientation issues with someone who's new, because you turn it around, you may over yaw, and then all of a sudden you're sideways, and then you have to figure out your orientation, and you know, everything gets reversed whenever you're facing yourself compared to when you're facing away. So that middle rate may be ideal for a lot of people, but again, because the yaw is kind of fast, you're not going to be able to do a real gentle turn. See how I'm really almost over yawing myself. And then you have a little bit of delay, which again, that's not going to be noticeable if you're new. And that tends to also cause it to be easier to over yaw. So I'm giving it the right amount of stick input that I would expect, and it's still, you know, over yaw a little because of that delay. But again, for $35, I can't complain. No, if this was 50 or above, then I'd say, you know, that'd be better options. As long as they keep that 30% off coupon, I see this as a good little beginner's drone. And we're still recording video here. We're over 6 minutes in. That's kind of a good gauge here for our flight time, since I can look at the timer here on the screen. Now, since we're recording just over the Wi-Fi, you know, there could be some breakups and stuff that you wouldn't expect because it's, you know, it's just Wi-Fi based. Now also be sure when you're recording like this, if you want to make sure that you get that video you're recording, you know, if it's your first time with the drone, well, it really yaws around quick. I gotta make sure I get my orientation set here. Make sure that you stop your recording. That's what I was trying to get. I want to make sure I didn't crash into the neighbor's house here with the little drone thinking this wouldn't hurt anything. Yeah, there is definitely some lag at times, and also, like I said, just that really quick yaw combined with that lag is very noticeable to me. Now right here, it's not too bad, you know, as I'm getting more and more used to it. But what I was getting at is if you're recording video with one of these Wi-Fi drones, and I say this all the time in these, make sure that you stop recording video when you land before you power it off. Because if you power off the drone and don't stop your Wi-Fi video recording, you're probably gonna lose it. It's probably gonna corrupt, and you'll end up with either nothing on your phone or a black video that's corrupted and won't play. So what I'm going to do is, just so I do have it, I'm going to go ahead and press the the video button again. That way I've stopped. Because now we were well over 6 minutes, 7 minutes in. Now I know I got my video you guys saw. Now, because it says 20 FPS or 20 frames per second, I'm recording at 60 on my with my hat cam, my head cam. It may have been really out of sync. So if you notice a bunch of breakups in the video where I've taken the video in and out to try to resync it, that's why. I don't know if it did it or not, so if it didn't, then disregard what I'm saying. Or it could just be out of sync, you know, because the software may not be able to sync that up. 20 FPS is a really goofy frame rate. All right, we got some beeping on the controller. That tells us that our battery is low. And we know at this point I would not be able to do like 360 flips or anything like that. So let's go ahead and just try the auto landing. Bring it on down. There we go. All right, so we got my video saved. Like I said, if you get to this point, make sure you stop that video if you're recording so that you don't risk losing the video. All right, guys, this is not a bad little drone. My only real complaint, again, is really twofold. The yaw is very quick. In the lowest rate, I would like to see that lower. And there just seemed to be a little bit of input lag. Again, that could just be the controller. You know, I'm used to a lot of different kind of drones, or it could be connected to the Wi-Fi. So if you get this drone and you do notice it, try disconnecting the Wi-Fi. Of course, you can't record video or do anything with the app, and see if that improves it. It might. Sometimes that does on some drones. The antenna on the controller is up in here. You can see it whenever you pop the phone clip holder on. So it's good that the wire is up at top, but again, they don't rate this thing at more like, basically 120 feet, not very far. Again, it's a toy. You would not be able to control it far away. It would just, you'd lose sight of it. All right, guys, that wraps up the review of the new DRC, I can say it, if I can spit it out, DRC D70. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. While you're at it, click that bell. That way you're notified every time that I do upload a new video. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.